Hi, and welcome to History 6 at RPS. In our last episode, we spoke about the Pax Romana and the great prosperity that came with it. In this episode, we'll be talking about the Romans and the use of provinces to create wealth and loyalty. When the Romans began expanding from their small city-state in the 200s BC, they came up with an ingenious and interesting way to encourage the conquered people to stay conquered and even ally with the Romans. They granted the people that they conquered some rights. Not full Roman rights, but some, and forced them to pay very high taxes. The deal was, if they did as they were told, they could gain more rights and pay less taxes. In the beginning of Roman history, this was a little bit tougher, but once Rome became a massive empire, it was pretty easy to get those who had been defeated to agree. If they could prove their trustworthiness and value, maybe, just maybe one day, they might actually get to become actual Roman citizens, get all the rights due to them, like trial with a judge, and pay no taxes. But only maybe, and only if you played your cards right. So you can kind of see where Rome is here in the center, and they conquered Italy, and then they conquered a little bit more, and they conquered a little bit more, kind of like concentric circles, right? And as they kept expanding and expanding, they kept getting these bigger and bigger provinces, richer and richer provinces that they could then use to help them. I kind of like to view it as levels of friendship. Let's say you have acquaintances, pals, friends, and family. When you first meet someone, you have to decide whether they're even worth being friends with. So you start as acquaintances. You know them, they know you. You need to figure out if you want to get to know them a little bit more. After a while, it turns out you have some things in common, and you're starting to like this acquaintance. You start to see them a little bit more often in a lot of the same places. You have a connection. You're now pals. You can wave to them across the room and you know what they're about. After seeing them frequently, you decide, you know what, you really do like them. You want to know more about them, so you meet their family. You get to see who they really are. It's taken some time to gain this level of trust, but you call them and they call you. You are now friends. Friends are good. If you're friends for long enough and see each other often enough, maybe you find out they're almost exactly like you. They do the same things you do, they like the same things you like, they eat the same things you eat, and your kids call them aunt and uncle. You have just become family. So the provinces were a lot like this. There were levels you could achieve, and the ultimate goal was to become Roman. Provinces also had a lot of benefits, it turns out. They had a lot of natural resources and goods. They had markets for goods to be traded, and with a huge population, you need to keep conquering to get more of these things. When the goods and resources change hands, you can tax it. Also good. When you are fighting with someone, you can recruit men from the provinces. Sometimes they are excellent fighters with extraordinary skills, and it's just what you need to win a war. When men retired from the army after serving for over 20 years, they were promised land. Often this promised land would be in a province far away, so the soldiers couldn't get in trouble if an upstart wanted to raise an army to challenge the emperor. And that way, if you were the emperor, you could send a troublemaker to govern a province so he wouldn't get in trouble to begin with. But probably the most important thing was that the provinces acted as a buffer zone between the Romans and the barbarians and any other enemies they might have. A buffer zone is an area that is designed to be sacrificed in the event of an invasion. Here's how it worked. Rome was kind of center in the empire, and it helps it to view it as layers of circles. The circles represent the provinces that were the most recently conquered, right? That's these guys on the outside here, right? The farther away from Rome, the more recently they were conquered. The circles closer to Rome were more trusted and more valuable, so it's important to protect them, right? So these guys in Italy are a little bit more important to the Romans. Outer circles, however, are very important too. So when an invasion comes, they'll have to first cross into a distant province, and that gives us time to react and send soldiers from here to here or from over here to over there, and it gives us time to react to their invasion. And because of the excellent communication networks, Romans would know who it was and exactly where they were very quickly. And then the army could move to block any further invasion. In addition, the lands and the provinces and the people were able to be sacrificed. If the enemy destroyed a city far from Rome, that's okay. It's not Rome, or one of our closest and longest standing friendships. If the province resisted an invasion or fought bravely, maybe you can get a reward, like improving your status. And finally, if we are looking to expand somewhere, we could use the provinces as a place to launch an invasion or encourage someone to provoke us. Like, for example, if you attack our friend, you therefore are attacking us, and therefore we should attack you. Prepare to pay. Provinces were perhaps one of Rome's best ideas. Not only did it provide money, goods, and soldiers, but it gave the Romans a great way to defend itself and expand its empire. After the break, the special case of Egypt. Today's episode is brought to you by Publius brand togas. Whether you are running for public office and need a new toga candida, or you are celebrating your coming of age ceremony and want a toga virilis, or you want to look amazing for that big senatorial speech and a fantastic toga praetexta, you can be sure that Publius brand togas have your favorite style and size in stock. We even do big and tall. Now with 3 locations in the Forum, in the Forum Boarium, and in the Suburra. Publius brand togas. We've got you covered. Welcome back. Egypt is a special case in terms of provinces. Many great men were sucked into the allure of this great land and came back changed and not always for the better. Julius Caesar and Mark Antony were pulled in by the beautiful and beguiling Cleopatra. Augustus was afraid of another challenge to his power, so he made Egypt his personal property. Since he and future emperors could not rule Egypt alone, instead of asking a senator, the highest and wealthiest class in Roman society from which all politicians came, Egypt was given to someone from the equestrian order, a lower rank, so that they could not and would not challenge the emperor. Making it personal property also meant that the wealth of Egypt now belonged to one person, and the grain that made the bread that fed the poor was given to the people by the kindness and generosity of the emperor himself. Next time on History 6 at RPS, we will explore the things that make an empire and decide if Rome actually is an empire. See you then.